Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. If you are new around here, make sure you are subscribing, smash the likes, and more importantly, comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Villa 2, Leicester 1. I've got a cup of tea because I am absolutely freezing. It was a cold one. Safe standing. That bar, it was absolutely freezing holding on to that bar. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever felt anything so cold in all my life. But the biggest thing for me is that we won the game. We need to win games of football. We need to just get through them, win them. There was two big sort of questions in the back of my head before the game. Can we win without Morgan Rogers? And can we win without Pau Torres? Now, those are two big questions, really, because the record in the past without Pau has been really bad. And the record without our best player at the minute, Morgan Rogers, I wanted to see us get a victory through doing that. And we was able to do that. So fantastic stuff that we was able to get that victory. We saw some changes. We've got Barkley in there with Kamara. We'd got Tielemans off Watkins and we got McGinn on the left. And I was quite intrigued to see how that midfield balance worked out. I think the biggest question mark I had when I saw the team was there's no pace there. There's no pace. You know, there's a lack of pace there. They're all good industrial midfielders, some with more quality on the ball than probably others. But, you know, the pace was a bit of an issue. And to get through it, to win the game, so, you know, my saying, play shit and win at times, it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you get the 3 points. So we was able to do that today. We did play some decent stuff in the second half. Some of the opportunities that we had, especially the big one at the very, very end. I imagine that Unai would have been quite content at half-time. The fans probably weren't. I don't think the fans were. But with the amount of sort of control we had on the game, our possession shape, our passing it and keeping it, I imagine he'd have been very, very happy. But there was an element of no creativity in that first half. That first half was pretty bad. Just because there was no incisiveness about us. There was no bravery. It was all very safe. And look, I can understand at times why we go back. We go back to reset the shape, to build our base, if that makes sense. But there's got to be a little bit of creativity, flexibility in there, a little bit of beating your man when you're standing a player up. And I think Emery spoke about it in his program notes that, you know, and we can all see that some of the mistakes that we make always get punished. So I can understand why first half we may have been a little bit safer and reluctant to play that killer through pass, and you know it get broken down and then we get countered. And so I can understand that cautious nature, because he's been speaking about the risk and reward football that we sometimes play, and sometimes what our shape dictates the way in which we are. But I thought first half we were not the best. And, you know, there's a player at Villa, there's two players for me that get massive amounts of stick when they just maybe make a small error. And it's Bailey and Cash. You know, they get the amount of stick that they get. But for me, the biggest problem today was Luca Dean on the left. First half, and all game actually, I thought it was a massive problem for Villa. Because if we look at the right-hand side of Bailey and Cash getting forward, and okay, maybe Bailey first half, he wasn't the best again. but he's been doubled up every time. Every time it was doubled up. That is very difficult for a winger to try and play through two players, try and beat a man. So, yes, there's times where he probably should need to do better. But on that left-hand side, we have got to be far better than that if it's Luca Dean that's there. Because we get into a decent position. There's a reluctance to cross it. We don't ever try and beat our man, ever. Like in that game today, he never took on a player. He never tried to just knock it past someone and run onto it. That was a big, big problem for Villa, especially first half, and I think all game. We'll get on to the second phase of the game and someone coming on and literally changing the game for Villa. But that performance showed me why Maatsen should be playing in this Villa team at the minute. Because, it's all right lamenting Bailey, but Luca Dean, he's meant to be doing the same thing, because both of our width comes from Luca Dean on the left and Bailey on the right. And I just thought it was just a bad performance from Dean. I need to see more. I need to see him driving forward with the ball. So that's one area I felt like we had an absolute disaster, especially in the first half. I thought the double pivot worked really well. I thought Barkley was good. I thought Kamara was really good. I thought those two played very, very well. Barkley, brilliant. And then I felt like the forward two of Tielemans and Watkins just couldn't get in the game, couldn't do enough. I think I saw the stat of Watkins having, 4 touches in the first half. So, yeah, a lack of movement, a lack of sort of creativity. There was no spark there. So I just feel like file that first half under. Just move on to the second half, Luke. Just talk about the second half. Second half was slightly better in the sense of we looked like we had a little bit more drive in us. And the one player that was driving us was Barkley. There was a couple of times where he just got it and he just thought, you know what, I'm going to go and shoot. And he just tried to drive through the middle. And that's what we needed, someone to just get the ball and drive at him. And we was able to do that. We got a corner and so, some of the corners were a little bit weird today, weren't they? Everyone went short and then we overplayed them, or we just didn't just get it in there. And I just felt like we needed to build a bit of pressure by doing that. And then we score that wonderful goal from Barkley. It was pure, give me the ball. I'm just going to have this for myself and shoot. And I loved that from him. It was like, tried to get it under control, smacked it on the sort of half volley sort of shot, and it went in. It was a great strike, great goal. And, fair play. We were 1-0 up, and then again, it was sort of our own mistake, our own downfall. Ollie Watkins, loose pass, allowed them to drive at us. Bit unfortunate that it fell to one of them, but, it was just like, it felt like they were going to nick it to me. I don't know why. I just felt like that was what was going to happen. And then what happened? We brought on Maatsen, and he just drove at him. He just runs, he's quick, he's lively, his touch is good, he's got a good sort of speed about him, sort of like his decision making and his passes. It's very quick. When he sort of had that press in the corner, didn't he? And he was able to run round the player, got the pass in. Leon Bailey, so happy for him. Absolutely so happy for Bailey, because I imagine it's been really difficult, and I'm just so happy that he scored, and I hope he can sort of kick on now, and now he's in and amongst the goals, get confidence, feel good about himself. And then we saw it, not too long after, when he hit the bar, and then Buendia had his shot off the line, Watkins fired over. We had another opportunity with Buendia, who had a shot that went wide as well. So in that moment, we needed to kill the game off. We didn't, and we could have allowed them if they'd have had another opportunity to score or something, but we didn't. But Matson, Matson absolutely changed it for us, and it was just so great to see him just pick up the ball and want to go forward with it quickly. So really happy to see Matson on the pitch, and it was a stark contrast between Matson and Luke Dean as well. I thought Cash was really tenacious today. I thought he played really well. I think he needs a bit of credit as well because he's another one that just gets stick all the time. So him and Bailey, so happy for them both. So happy that he scored. And yeah, so let's have a little look at then some of the stats, and we'll run through a few more things then. So Villa, 61% possession. First half, 61%. Second half, 61. First half, 0.15 XG. Second half, we had a 1.25. We had 3 big chances, 10 shots. They had 3 shots. Keeper made 1 save for Villa, 2 saves for Leicester. We have got, let's go in all actually. So all we made 609 passes, which is massive. Shows the control that we had of the game, which was good. They made 390. We had 13 shots. They had 4. We had 5 on target. They had 2. The woodwork once. We predominantly attacked down that left-hand side, which, again, has just got to be better. It's just got to be better. They went through the right, left, a little bit less, and then through the centre. We can see that we had 545 accurate passes. We won 52% of our duels, 50% of our ground duels, 63% of our aerials, which is huge. And we had a 33 dribble success as well. 58% of our tackles were won. Something that I do want to show you, which is really good and highlights the defensive nature and a solid partnership between the two because they've played together for a lot. We've got Ezri Konsa, 3 out of 3 ground duels, and we've got Tyrone Mings, 2 out of 2 ground duels. We have got aerials for Tyrone Mings, 1 out of 1, and we've got Konsa, 1 out of 1 as well. Passing stats, Ross Barkley, 98% passing accuracy over the course of the game. What a performance from him to look after the ball in central midfield. We've got Cash 88%. We've got Conser 96, Ramsey 87, Tielemans 87, Mings 89. We've got Martinez 89, McGinn 100, Buendia 67, Watkins had 69. We've got, where's Kamara? Kamara 93. He won 2 of his 4 duels, so that was pretty decent as well. If we have a little look at the average positions, we can see that Villa pretty expansive with the width on the left. We'll talk about the width on the left more in the debrief, which will be out tomorrow as well. So those are the average positions, and those are the average positions for Leicester as well. I think you've probably got to give a bit of credit to Leicester for how they turned up with 2 coaches and decided to follow the same tactic on the football pitch and park the bus. They parked it. They were in a 4-4-2 shape in a mid to low block, and that's how they played the whole game. So we had to unlock them. We had to try and break through it. They defended resolutely, but we was able to get the victory, and then they were able to go back to Leicester on their coach. So it was a day of the coaches for Leicester, and thankfully our coach Unai Emery got the upper hand on Van Nistelrooy. So Villa, got the victory, buzzing about it. We'll park it, we'll move on, and we'll turn our attention to the FA Cup, where hopefully we can go through and get the victory in that. Villa fans, if you are new around here, make sure you are subscribing. Smash the likes. Let's try and get around 600 likes. Comment your thoughts. Up the Villa.